school, I only wrote how you write in high school, you know, for assignments and things like that. I didn't think of myself as going to grow up and be a writer. But I had a very real interest in poetry. But the poetry that I was mostly interested in involved scan and rhyme and meter and things that are no longer quite fashionable in poetry.
But are very appropriate for lyricists.
Are very appropriate for lyrics. And not being a singer myself, it never occurred to me to think about writing lyrics and things like that. But once we started working together and we worked on the Hasty Pudding Show and things like that, I said, this is great. It's like poetry, only with structure.
In my case, the urge to be funny was neck and neck with the urge to make music and be pretty. I was raised more on comedy, on Monty Python and Saturday Night Live and National Lampoon and stuff like that, even as much as, if not more than, things like My Fair Lady and Ellen John and Billy Joel. We stumbled over the years on a couple of principles that we now kind of adhere to almost slavishly. For example, we have learned the very first principle is people go to a show, certainly they go for a big dose of emotion, and they will often choose emotion over logic. But in our case, we cannot figure out how to write emotion without a logic, and that extends to the entire reason why you're writing the show. You have to have a good reason why you're writing the show, and you have to have a what before you can have the how. In our case, we've decided that every time we write a show, we want to be recommending something or advocating something. If you're Jackson Pollock, you don't have to be recommending anything. You're just expressing your feelings through a visual medium. But for a room with people who are going to sit facing the same direction and hopefully applaud your song, there's got to be some sort of communal recommendation. And we try to write our shows boiled down to a single prescriptive sentence. People should blank. Not people should not blank, because that's not clear enough. But West Side Story, love thy neighbor. A chorus line, there are no small dreams. Wicked.
Your government is lying to you.
Yeah, that's and so for Legally Blonde, for example, we kept pushing. In other words, by the time we got the Legally Blonde job, we had sort of hit on this idea that if you have your motor, an engine that expresses one dilemma and make every character wrestle with it, then it makes your writing easy. Every major character in Legally Blonde, as we decided, would be wrestling with the same issue, which is they all have an attribute they think is their best attribute. They think it's their best strength, and they protect it, and they try to not change it. But it turns out that is usually their biggest liability. Elle, for example, thinks that being obliging and pretty and pink and plastic and fluffy will make her happy. Instead, it gets her dumped and unrespected. And so she has to let go of certain parts of what she thinks is valuable about herself and learn new skills, learn a spine, learn aggression where it's needed, and let go of certain things and grow new skills. Wow. And I didn't know what it was going to be. And of course, Nell cursed me later because it's a really hard scan and a really hard rhyme scheme. But I also, and then there's that, what key are we in? And I was like, well, this sounds kind of a little bit like, you remember that tune, A Summer Place? That beautiful tune from the movie? Evoking the beach. We didn't have any lyrics at this point. And I was like,
that kind of, oh, it's a beach, it's California, she wants to go back. You know, that made a lot of sense.
And then I was like, this is pretty, oh, change it. And I was like, uh-oh, that sounds like we should put the words, Legally Blonde. And Nell and I both went, oh, no! We should not do that. And yeah, we did it.
Yeah. But it's actually interesting because we did it auditioning for the show. We're like, if we can put a tune with Legally Blonde in it and stick it firmly in their brains, maybe they'll hire us. Like they'll be like, legally, oh God, I can't get out of my head. We gotta hire them. You know. I really didn't. I don't think I expected.
I didn't expect it.
I didn't expect it to survive the show. For there to be a ballad with Legally Blonde as a title in the show. I just expected it to get us the job.
For all that we were raised with many alternatives to the Rodgers and Hammerstein model, there's a reason why the Rodgers and Hammerstein model is immortal, because it has a certain balance between music and dialogue and story, and it also, every single one of their major shows is about how will a community survive. How, does a new person fix a community, or is a person endangering a community? Does that community's values deserve to survive anyway? So we're very attuned to that. It's our favorite topic.
Well, let's thank this extraordinary group.